good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you're at. Just to let you know, I'm very unprepared. I just got home. I actually scheduled the live as I was driving home, and I jumped in the shower, and now it's time for the live. If anybody has a link for the press conference, I'm going to search to find it. But if anyone has one available right now that they could share with me, it would be awesome of you guys to do that. Um, and if you do have a link, just send it to my Ron Moxley Facebook Messenger page and let me know you sent it. And then I'll be able to check the messages for it. Like I said, I apologize for this. It's just that, I just got home and actually trying to find the autopsy press conference right now. So if you're saying any comments, I can't see them at the moment. And hello, everyone. Just hello to everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you for the background. Um, People that's coming in later, I actually just got in. Um, I scheduled the live on my way home, and then I jumped in the shower. And as soon as I got out, it was time for my live to begin. I wanted to start a few minutes early to let you guys know what we was going to be covering and just talk for a few minutes. Um, and if anyone has a link, I'm searching for it at the moment. But if anyone has a link where we could grab that press conference, it would be awesome if you could help me out. Um, as I'm admittedly saying I'm unprepared where I just got home. So I am looking at the time. I do have something here. I don't know if this is it or not. I'll check and see. I know it's scheduled for 3 p.m. And that gives us a few minutes to find something. And like I said again, I just want to apologize for this. Give me just a second. We'll go back to that. They took that off all of a sudden. Okay. And I apologize for this, guys. I just got in. Um, Danielle Berger was found last night. That is awesome. That is great news. Any update on where she was or what happened? Anything like that, Angela? I appreciate the update, guys. Danielle Berger, we featured her missing poster last night on our live, and Angela updates us that she has been found. So excellent news today for that. We needed one to be found for sure. Um, KC Department and Public Safety. Okay, let me see if I can find the KC Department of Public Safety really quickly. I'm sure we've got enough time to find it. I just wanted to let you guys know that I was unprepared. I actually scheduled the live as I was coming home, and then I jumped in the shower, and then it was time for the live to begin. Okay, so maybe we found it here. Let's see the website. I found the website for the KC Department of Public Safety, and we'll see if they have it. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on their website. Hello, Lara. How are you? Um, let's see. Angela says she learned that she was all over social media and turned herself into the local PD. That's all I know. She now knows that we all care about her. When you say turned herself into the PD, she she wanted something, that maybe the reason she left or anything like that, or just turn herself in to let everyone know she was okay. Well, it's me. I appreciate that. Well, I know that some of the other ones say he's never prepared. He doesn't have any content. He asks his subscribers what they want to talk about. Yeah, I do. I like including you guys in the conversation. I have since I started the channel, and I will continue to do that. It's my channel, and I'll run it as I see fit. And I do like involving you guys in the conversation. I like asking you guys what you want to talk about. And what the hell's wrong with that? It's our channel, right, guys? Right. All right. Hello, Carol. How are you today? I'm on the KC, South Carolina Department of Public Safety. It's got a couple of pictures of Faye, but it shows on Facebook. We might have to go on Facebook and watch it. I can't see your comments right now, so if you're saying anything, I can't see them because I'm actually trying to find this. Let's see, media update. February 18th, Trinity Baptist Church. So I might have to go to Twitter, maybe. Let me see if this works. Okay, I'm on the Twitter website. It looks like we might be able to watch it here on the Twitter KC Department of Public Safety website. If anyone finds a link before then, so we can be prepared, let me know. Angela says it seems that she had taken off and then she was shown that she was a missing person. So she went to the Gearing PD and they took her home to her family. So that's awesome news. Great news. Finally, for once, we've found someone alive, and that is awesome. The girl we featured last night, Danielle Berger. I'll show you a picture of her real quick so you guys will know what I'm talking about. Okay, they've obviously took it down, so I guess they've taken her. I still can show you the picture really quickly. This is on my True Crime Files page. This is the girl we're talking about. We featured her last night as a missing person. She has been found, so that's awesome news. Thank you, Angela, for the update. Well, thank you, Steve. That's really appreciated. Let me check my messages to see if anybody has sent me a link. Okay, it looks like that's not a link. Let's see. Trying to figure this out, guys. Sorry to do this to you. I might have to. Oh, not a problem, Angela. It just I'm so glad that she was found. Let me see if I can log into Twitter here. I don't know if I even have a Twitter account. I might have to sign up really quickly. I can make sure we can watch this press conference. They're also going to update what the connection between the two bodies was. And I think that will be good to find out, because I've done told you guys, my theory on it. And like I told everyone, it is just a theory and nothing more. It's speculation, and so Okay, so I think I've signed into Twitter now. And I believe after doing this, we will be able to watch the press conference from their Twitter site. If you're saying anything right now, I can't see. I'm on another page signing up for Twitter. So just so we can watch this. Let's see. Give me just a second, guys. I'm over here signing up on Twitter. All right, so let's see what I'm doing here. Again, I apologize for this, guys. Just trying to get it where we're at here. All right, Beth, that's great news. News 19 WLTX. Okay, thank you. Let me go there real quick. This is why I wanted to come on a few minutes early to find the press conference. So we could watch it and cover it together. See if what these messages are. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for the dead air. Just I believe we might have found it here. Starts in about 3 minutes. So I am Coyote. Where are you? Where are you watching the? Where are you seeing this podium set up at for the conference? If you don't mind me asking, I am Coyote. Live5news.com. Okay, let me check that out. So I want to go ahead and get it rolling. So we're ready to go when it comes on. Yeah, I think I found it. This is just an ad playing, so it'll go off in just a second. Okay, I've got it. I won't be able to see your comments for a few seconds, guys. I'll go to my phone. Okay, let me know if you guys can see it and hear it. I can see your comments. Okay, let me know if you guys can see it and hear it. I can see your comments. Turn my phone down or it won't have an echo. Okay, so there's no sound right now. I can hear some background sound, so I know we have sound for the press conference. So it's just we're waiting for obviously them to come to the podium and speak. I'm glad we guys could all share and watch this together. Tragic situation. Hopefully, we find out some answers to this tragic case. And if you don't care, guys, just hit the like button, or you can even hit the dislike button if you don't like the show or the channel. Sounds like a toast. Like I said, there is sound. It's just nothing at the podium at this moment. I'm trying to look down and watch your guys' comments and also watch the press conference at the same time with you guys. If you don't care, hit the like button, please. If you want to, subscribe to the channel.
All right, guys. This is an opportunity for mic check, everybody. Everyone good?
Can everyone hear that good?
Okay, great. Good afternoon. My name is Ashley Hunter. I am the Public Information Officer for the City of Casey. I have Sergeant Evan Antley here with me today. He is also with the City of Casey, works for Casey Department of Public Safety. We'll have two officials speaking with you today. The first one will be Lexington County Coroner Margaret Fisher, and the second person to speak will be the Department of Public Safety Director for the City of Casey. His name is Byron Snellgrove, Byron. Snellgrove is Snellgrove.
Oh, thank you, Jessica Madera, and sorry to hear you've been battling those issues.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to the City of Casey. The last time we spoke, we let you know that our work was ongoing in the case of Faye Swetlik. Today we're here to give you some of those answers that everyone has been asking for. We appreciate your patience and your time and your compassion. And at this time, I'd invite Coroner Margaret Fisher, DPS Director Byron Snellgrove, and other leaders from local, state, and federal agencies to the stage.
Hopefully this lag that's happening will line itself out here in a second.
Good afternoon. First,
I would like to personally express my gratitude to Lieutenant Mike Burrell and the Charleston County Sheriff's Department for providing the motorcade to accompany Faye back to Lexington on Saturday with the respect and dignity that she deserved. I would also like to thank the Casey Department of Public Safety and the Town of Lexington Police Department for their assistance with that touching tribute to a little girl who has touched as many hearts. Thank you to the team at MUFC who worked meticulously to help us determine the cause of Faye's death, and to Trinity Baptist Church for hosting this and previous press conferences. I want to express my appreciation to you, the media, for your compassion and constant coverage of Faye, who was simply playing in her own yard at the hands of another person has been extremely difficult on all of us. There are no adequate words to express the depth of our sadness and our sympathy for Faye's parents. To Faye's mother and father, my heart, like so many others, breaks for you. I know that there's nothing I can say to bring any comfort or peace. I'm so deeply sorry for what you're going through.
I'm going to hit the 10-second rewind button on this to see if it'll get rid of this
My
lag.
heart, like so many others, breaks for you. I know that there's nothing I can say to bring any comfort or peace. I am so deeply sorry for what you're going through and for the loss of your precious baby girl. No parent should ever have to know such pain. And you are and will be in our thoughts and prayers for so many, including me, and you and Faye will remain in my heart forever. Before I disclose the results of Faye's autopsy, I want to make everyone aware that the results of the other autopsy related to this investigation will be released to the media following this press conference. Out of respect for the Swetlik family, I will only be speaking about Faye at this time. Furthermore, I will not address the conditions of Faye's body or the other details out of respect and because this is an ongoing investigation. Faye Swetlik's death did not occur at the location where her body was discovered. And her body had not been at that location. Her body had been at that location for only a short time. We have concluded that Faye's death was a homicide and took place within only a few hours after she was abducted. The cause of Faye's death has been ruled asphyxiation. Unless there's new evidence pertinent to the investigation of my office, we will not release any additional information regarding Faye Marie Swetlik. Thank you.
That's tragic, terrible. Little child, how could someone do that?
Thank you for coming. My name is Byron Snellgrove. I am the Director of Public Safety for the City of Casey. I've been asked by several media people to explain what that is. That means that I am the Chief of Police and the Chief of the Fire Department in the City of Casey. Standing with me up here are Margaret Fisher from the corner of Lexington County, who just spoke. Chief Mark Keel of the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. Sheriff Jay Coon, Lexington County Sheriff's Office, and Special Agent in Charge Jody Norris of the Columbia Office of the FBI. I want to thank them for all of their assistance in this investigation. And I just want to say that there are so many other agencies
that were involved in this, that it could take me all day to list them. But I surely appreciate all the information that they gave us, all the help that they gave us with personnel, and everything else that they did for us. In addition, I want to thank the community for doing all sorts of stuff for us. They were bringing us food, making sure that we had what we needed to continue to operate as far as sustenance. Trinity Baptist Church was very instrumental in ensuring that we had everything that we needed to keep everyone that was working alert and ready. We truly appreciate that. On behalf of the Casey Department of Public Safety and our city leaders and our staff as a whole, I want each of you to know that this was not just an investigation or a case for us. Faye Swetlik quickly grabbed all of our hearts, and this case became and will always remain very personal for each of us. Faye will never be forgotten. There are simply no words that can adequately convey our heartfelt sorrow or condolences for Faye's family, her friends, her classmates at Springdale Elementary School, Faye's teachers, her school resource officer, and all of Lexington School District 2. Very specifically, her Churchill Heights neighbors and friends. For the entire Casey community, the loss of Faye Marie Swetlik will never leave our hearts or our minds. But it is my hope that together here today, we can start to process this horrific crime and grieve the loss of this precious life. 8 days ago at approximately 3:45 p.m., Faye Marie Swetlik was discovered to be missing by her mother. Her mother did what most parents would do. She called her friends, she gathered her neighbors, and she frantically looked around the neighborhood for her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Having no luck, she placed a frantic call to 911 at approximately 5 p.m. By 5:03, Casey officers were on the scene at Churchill Heights and were gathering information. They talked with family members and neighbors and began going through the neighborhood to look for Faye. Within 30 minutes of their arrival, officers notified the Casey command staff, including myself, and all of us immediately responded to Churchill Heights and began asking for assistance from other local agents. Helicopter assisted from the air, and numerous K-9 teams from several local agencies were in the area searching for Faye. Faye was placed in the NCIC, that's the National Crime Information Database, as a missing child. A BOLO, or be on the lookout for, was issued for Faye to every agency across our region. We placed pictures and information across social media, and it immediately was shared by thousands of people. While this was happening, the Lexington County Sheriff's Office and the Casey Department of Public Safety were setting up a mobile command unit in the middle of the neighborhood so that we could maintain a presence of officers in that area 24 hours a day until this was concluded. We also converted Casey City Hall into a much larger stationary command center for the more than 300 law enforcement officers and firefighters from across the region that joined in our search. For the remainder of the night, there was a heavy presence of first responders in and around the area. Casey officers shut down the neighborhood and were instructed to stop every car coming in and going out of the neighborhood, and to talk to every person they saw to see if they had any information about Faye's whereabouts. By Tuesday morning, a dedicated Faye Swetlik hotline was set up and went live at our command center. We began roadblock operations at all entrances around the neighborhood. We spoke to everyone coming in and going out and asked for consent to look in their vehicles. Everyone was extremely cooperative, understanding, and very helpful. Our officers were provided with a standardized FBI questionnaire form that was specifically targeted to glean information to help us find Faye. This is what the officers used when they talked to anyone in reference to this case. That morning, we did a coordinated effort with multiple agencies to go door to door to question all residents, friends, and visitors in all 280 plus homes in Churchill Heights. Our goal was to speak to every occupant of every residence, no matter how long it took. And we would also request consent to enter and look for anything that would lead us to find Faye. Grid searches of the perimeter of the neighborhood were also conducted multiple times. All the while, officers were again instructed to check every pool, creek, culvert, manhole, trash can, shed, or any other structure or area that a young girl may be in. Canines continued to search, and on Wednesday, another round of grid and perimeter searches were conducted. Wednesday night, with all the current law enforcement operations taking place, we decided to bring another city department as a resource to help us find Faye. Thursday was the regular sanitation pickup day for Churchill Heights, and all residents were obviously aware of that. On Thursday morning, our officers diligently and methodically followed the Casey sanitation trucks through the neighborhood, and as each can was loaded and emptied into the back of a garbage truck, they methodically combed through it to see if they could find any piece of information or clue, in hopes of finding something that would lead us to Faye. At approximately 10 a.m., a trash can near 602 Piccadilly Square was emptied, and as our officers went through it, they found a couple of items that were of significant importance. One was a child's polka dot boot, and the second was a soup ladle that had freshly dug dirt in it. I happened to be on scene at that time, and upon seeing these items, I called for assistance to do an additional and immediate grid search of the areas directly behind Londonderry and Piccadilly Square. As assistance was coming, I went into the woods behind the townhomes, and just before 10:30 a.m., I located the body of Faye Swetlik. Approximately 10:30, other Casey officers were notified of a residence that there was a man bleeding on the back patio. That was 602 Piccadilly Square. Officers immediately went to his aid and found the deceased white male. Immediately, SLED's crime scene unit collected various samples of DNA from both crime scenes from inside 602 Piccadilly Square. That DNA, once tested, connected the unknown of this horrific crime. I can tell you that the deceased male had been contacted and interviewed at 602 Piccadilly on Wednesday afternoon. He was cooperative and gave consent to agents to look through the house. Those agents did not see anything and alerted them to knowledge or was anywhere involved in Faye's disappearance at that time. Evidence leads us to believe that the deceased abducted and killed 6-year-old Faye Marie Swetlik. And it appears that he is the sole perpetrator of this crime. Evidence further shows that Faye's body was moved in the shadow of the night to behind the townhouses where she was found in the early morning hours on Thursday morning under the cover of darkness. Throughout the time we spent searching for Faye, we kept a very large presence of officers and agents in the Churchill Heights neighborhood 24 hours a day. Our team worked on this Our team working on this case grew exponentially from 50 officers to over 300. Every door to every residence in Churchill Heights was knocked on, and officers continued to go back into every house until every resident or occupant of that house was in. Many times it took 3 to 4 times to accomplish. There were 4 searches of the perimeter from the time Faye was missing until the night before she was found. That included trash cans, dumpsters, and other areas around the neighborhood. As of Friday at 5 p.m., officers had followed.
Yeah, sorry about that.
283 leads just from the hotline alone. All those leads were followed until they were exhausted.
He's talking really low, so I tried turning it up.
Video from almost 50 locations and reviewed a total of 756 gigabytes of video. I'll say in my 33 years of law enforcement, I have never seen such a large group of officers, investigators, firefighters, and other first responders staff come together in the way that everyone did here. Nor have I seen federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies come together as a team.
MUSC as the forensic pathologists are at MUSC, and they handle all the autopsies for the coroner's office that are forensically related to cases. So that was not an unusual thing for us to send them to MUSC. They do all of our forensic cases.
Yes, Don.
Yes. We have been in contact with him, yes. We have nothing that indicates that he knew anything about what was going on, and he was not at the residence that much during the time. That will be released by the coroner after this. We do have some video shows Cody doing some things that were suspicious to us. At this time.
Two more questions and that'll be off.
Did you leave any kind of note or message of any kind?
None.
What did he say?
I did not interview him. And quite frankly, I don't know exactly what he said.
Inside the residence that you discovered today, was there anything else that she referred to that she?
Well, DNA was tested and did connect and link the residence, the deceased male, and Faye to that location.
Did you have a label with the shirt on? What did you do with that connection?
It was a hunch.
All right, that'll be all today. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Questions, please let us know and check your emails.
Angelina had said they was going to release
Thank y'all
the
very much.
details of the male Cody's death after the press conference out of respect to Faye's family. Hello, Eyes of Blue. How are you? Okay, so it looks like that's it with the press conference. So they're going to release the details of Cody's autopsy after the press conference. I'm assuming we'll find some sort of update in the media. They did that out of respect to Faye's family. So little 6-year-old Faye Swetlik died of asphyxiation. The coroner said she would not give a description of her body when she was located. And the cause of death was asphyxiation. The police found critical evidence to the case when they went through the trash on trash pickup day. They found a polka dot boot believed to be related to Faye Swetlik in the trash can belonging to this house, and also a soup ladle with dirt in it. That seems odd to me, but that's what they found. It's just tragic. This little girl was just playing in her yard after school. I've seen a couple of your guys' comments talking about back when you grew up. I was the same thing. I was born in '76, and most of my young years were in the '80s, and I can remember going out and riding my bicycle from daylight to dark, and your parents never even worried about you. As long as you were home by dark, there was really no need to worry. Today, you can't even let your kids play in the yard without the fear of someone abducting them. My daughter all the time wants to go outside, and she's in color guard and practice her flag. And I let her, usually because I can see her out my window. But a lot of times I'm reluctant to let her do that for this very reason right here. Brooks Channel, I think that's what's the difference between us and these perpetrators that do things like this. We can't understand what's in their minds because it doesn't go through our mind, and thank God it doesn't. It's I don't even know what to say about it. I said last night, my opinion is that he had probably been watching her for days, maybe even weeks or months. This was probably planned. Um, why couldn't he have been hit by a truck or something while he was planning this before he actually went through with it? Why couldn't fate intervene and take this guy out to let this little girl live her life? But we do have comfort if you are a Christian and you believe in the Bible. We do have comfort knowing that Faye is in the arms of God today in heaven, and her killer Cody is burning in hell. And that gives me, maybe I'm wrong for saying it, but it gives me satisfaction. And that's just how I feel. That's my opinion. I just don't know. The little girl just getting off the bus, going home, and going outside and playing in the yard like kids want to do. Kids want to play. And this evil, evil, evil person takes her and does this to her. We was talking about that last night on Brooks' channel. It would be a very controversial subject, but possibly having GPS sensors placed under the skin on a child, kind of like women do with when they want to, birth control. They have the little implant put right under the skin. From what I hear, it's not painful, anything like that, and it's right under the skin. And like I said, it's a very controversial subject. It would be. I know it's been discussed before. But if they did this at birth, that because people abduct newborns right out of the hospital. They last week when they had a woman that posed as a prenatal nurse, I believe, to steal a baby, and we're going to have to figure out something. There's no way that we can get in the minds of these perpetrators and killers and child abusers and find out every one of them. There's too many of them. As we sit here and do this live, there's some sicko somewhere probably planning something exactly like this. And it's sad to know that that's happening, and there's nothing we can do about it because we don't know who that person is. I believe where this would be a controversial subject, I believe that it should be up to the parents if it happens at birth, and I believe that once the child turns 18, they can have the little chip removed. Don Bragg says the chip goes out and has to be replaced. It's just under the skin, so you can opt out at any time. From what I understand, I've never, but I've heard that these little chips, GPS chips, are as small as a grain of rice. Being raised Christian and believing in the Bible, I think there would be a lot of opposition to what I'm speaking on right now. A lot of people might think it would be the mark of the beast that's talked about in the Bible. At the end of time, you'll have some sort of mark or chip placed in your body. And I can see being raised a Christian and being a Christian now, how that would be opposition. A video on what, Alicia, and I must have missed your last comment. I apologize. Alicia says, why don't you make a video on it and we can all weigh in on it if you don't mind. Can you elaborate on the video on exactly what? Sorry, my foot's itching. Don Brake has a very good point. It is important to point out the reasons it does not fit the mark of the beast. I agree completely. And Elysian says the microchip. Yeah, if we had somebody that's in the on the channel that's familiar with these little GPS devices and how they would be placed, where they're placed, things like that, that would like to come on live and explain how it would work and the benefits and the cons, the pros and the cons, both sides of the situation of having something done like this. Brooke says, my mother always used to joke and say if someone kidnapped me, they'd bring me back, and I'd say they'd probably kill me immediately. My anxiety would have me asking too many questions. I can remember my parents saying that too, that somebody would bring you back. Steve Maidment says, downside of a microchip, they can get hacked and track your kids from a perpetrator. That's also, see, that's what I'm talking about, the pros and the cons of having this chip. So, I don't know, with all the tragic things going on, the Faye Swetlik, again, his sock's still missing. Even in the case of Heidi, had she been wearing a GPS watch or anything like that, I mean, I know it's, I don't know, it's, Dawn says she's familiar with them. Her husband researched them to develop them for our business. I can email you the company's name. The reason people say they're head and hand is because it won't grow out as quick. Would you like to come on live sometime, Dawn, and talk about this since you have a lot of knowledge on these chips? And Manon, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Manon, correct, or Correa, says the chip will not work. There are always be smart, evil spirits who can hack them in a second. And that's one of the cons of a chip. Beth Mack has a good question. I've said this many times on lives. Can there be more pedophiles now, or do we just hear about them more through social media? I believe it is a combination of both. I believe it is happening more. And I believe with the 24/7 media coverage we have these days, even with social media, YouTube, people doing these lives like I do. Angela Lester, that's a good question. Why can't we chip sex offenders? Well, the thing with that is pros and cons of that. The thing with that is this guy, Cody, they said he didn't even have a criminal record whatsoever. So he wouldn't be chipped. So nothing, about a chip and a sex offender, would have tracked this guy. The sad thing is, they said she passed away within hours of her abduction. They just announced that evil piece of shit cut his throat. Okay, so Sherry Kirk has an update for us about Cody, the 30-year, I don't even like saying his name, the sick individual who took the life of a beautiful young child. They announced he cut his throat and bled to death. Sick individual, just Diane Y says, I lost my 8-year-old years ago. She was with her friend out front of our house playing. I was feeding my 1-year-old. I was frantic. We found her 2 streets away safe. Um, people say it's a good thing, he took himself out. Me personally, um, just like with Chris Watts being in prison, I hope he lives a long, miserable, just hard life. And I hope he lives a long time in that environment. Um, Curious Kimmy says, we hear about it more. Watch Children of the Snow. The pedophiles had a strong network back in the 70s that was opening. So, see, uh, do we possibly hear about it more? Tricia says, that's extreme, cutting your own throat. Hope he suffered, but he deserved to suffer in jail for, I agree, for a long time. Secret Lady, taking your life is a coward's way out. This is just, I figured, my theory was with them saying, when they found Faye's body, and they said there was no danger to the community, and they were not looking for anyone. Pretty much gave you the answer that he was the person who caused her death. Um, just it's tragic. So we found out the cause of death for both people, the innocent little child and the perpetrator who deserved any kind of sick uh, justice served. It's I have no words. I don't know. Sally Lovejoy says she was grabbed by a neighbor in the 60s and got away. Police did nothing. Now kids are believed. And Lara says, pedophiles have been around forever. I think we must have more knowledge now. I believe that's true. I believe it is a combination of both. I believe there's probably more, and I believe there's absolutely more coverage of these sort of crimes and these sort of individuals and what they're doing to our children. Eyes are blue. It did not say. Eyes are blue says, did he sexually assault Faye as well? Um, they did not give that information. They did say that DNA linked them together, perhaps the crime. So I don't know, maybe if they found blood or some kind of DNA skin cells or something in his apartment, his house, or if the DNA they're talking about is from a sexual assault. They did not release that during the press conference. I'm sure they'll probably release more information later outside of the news conference. Well, actually, they already have. They released that the perpetrator cut his own throat and probably bled to death. And Don Brick has a good point about the putting chips in pedophiles. They would just cut them out, and that's a very good point. Um, with the chips and the children, I think it would be the parents' choice to let them decide if they wanted to do something like that. I know it would be controversial, but at the same time, your kid goes missing. Um, you would just have probably just an app on your phone, I know this sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. You know, the Find My iPhone, where you can find your phone if you misplace it, lose it, or someone's stolen it. And the same way you could have an app, Find My Child. If you couldn't locate them, perhaps they just wandered off down the street, you would know exactly where they're at. If they were abducted, you would know exactly where they're at. I mean, think it's very uh, interesting subject to think about. Um, and Lara has a good point. She said these kinds of crimes are usually sexually motivated. Um, there was some sort of attraction with this 30-year-old man to this 6-year-old child, which is sick and disgusting in the first place. But I think Lara has a good point. He was probably in some way fascinated with this little girl, and then there's no telling how long he had planned this. But anyway, guys, we've covered the press conference. That's about all I had for you today. I will try my best to be back on around 7:30 um, and do another live. I would like to start having somebody come on with me, kind of like maybe a daily co-host or something to that nature. It's just a lot easier, when you have somebody up here with you and you can bounce ideas back and forth. You have somebody to talk to, because a lot of times I find myself stumped. And when you have somebody with you, you have somebody that can fill in the blanks when I have nothing to say. And I just think it's a good idea. If anybody would like to come on today, just let me know, and we'll bring you on. Like I said, be around 7:30. I can't say for sure, but I'm going to try my very best. I'll try to see and find out more information on if I can find out what the DNA that linked the 30-year-old to Faye, and other things like that, and what maybe try to find out the what the soup ladle, the reason for it was. If you don't care, before you go, just hit that like button, hit the dislike button. Either one's fine. Vanessa Enright says she'd be interested in doing that. She won't be home until later. Should be able to hop on around 7:30 Central Time. That would be 8:30 my time. So if anybody wants to hear Vanessa on again, or if somebody wants to come on around 7:30, just let me know. And Steve says you're a one-man show, Mox. Well, it every now and then it's still nice to bring someone on. It gives you a chance to hear their opinions, their ideas, what they say, and different things like that. Anyway, either way about it, I'll come on and tell you what I think, my ideas, my opinions. A lot of people don't agree with me. It's been shown lately, and that's okay. People have a right to do that. Um, So anyway, guys, you have a good afternoon, evening, night, morning, wherever you're at. Take care, and I'll see you here in just a little bit. Take care, guys. Goodbye.